What's good, everyone? Kensou here, bringing you another fighting game review. And in this video, we're going to talk about one of the rarest and most legendary SNK fighting games you could never play due to how rare it was in the arcades. For nearly 30 years, Kizuna Encounter Super Tag Battle was a game that was just very hard to come across until now. SNK has been working hard with the help of Code Mystics to bring Rollback Netcode to their Neo Geo Premium Selection line of games. Kizuna Encounter has just joined this collection with a slew of new features and Rollback Netcode. Now let's take a dive into this classic title and review what's under the hood in this new and improved version of Kizuna Encounter. So naturally, you're probably watching this video and trying to figure out what exactly is Kizuna Encounter anyway, right? Kizuna Encounter has always been an oddity in the SNK fighting game library, but it is known as a fast-paced 2-on-2 tag fighter with a famously low print run that turned physical copies into 5-figure collector's items. Now, the game is best understood as a big departure from its previous title in the series called Savage Reign, released back in 1995. While Savage Reign defined itself as a unique dual-plane combat system where fighters could essentially hop between the foreground and background a la Fatal Fury of the stage to dodge attacks, create openings, and they could utilize special plane attacks, right? Meanwhile, Kizuna Encounter entirely just dropped that mechanic just completely, right? And instead, they completely revamped the gameplay from the ground up and they introduced a brand new tag system. So with that being said, the new Neo Geo Premium Selection release changes pretty much everything for this game, right? This is not just a port, it's an act of preservation within the Neo Geo library of fighting games. And that fully validates this cult classic for the modern fighting game landscape of 2025. So now that we've kind of covered a bit of the backstory behind the game, let's talk about the core mechanics of the game. So naturally, this game uses the traditional 4-button SNK layout with your punches, your kicks, your weapons attacks, and your tag. It features an extensive movement system with forward dashes and back dashes, and a dedicated set of evasive button actions that allow for side steps, a quick fully invincible dodge, and a circle step where you basically side swap with your opponent, making the gameplay pretty fluid in terms of how you move around and general maneuverability with your character, right? It also features a chain combo system. Now, unlike other SNK fighting games that rely on just standard links, Kizuna Encounter utilizes a rush combo system, often called Gatlings in other fighting games, and this allows players to chain light attacks into heavy attacks into also your weapon attacks, offering a little bit more variety in terms of how you approach and do damage towards your opponent. And this wasn't very commonplace in older SNK titles, so it's really neat to see that here. So as you guys know, this is a tag fighter, and of course you can tag your characters in and out. However, the rules are, players can only tag their partner while standing within the designated tag zone, and there are colored boxes on each side of the screen for both player 1 and player 2. Now this seemingly small rules, like, okay, this isn't so bad, but that's where the game kinda gets a little crazy, right? There's lots of different strategies around trying to keep your opponent away from the tag zone and things of that nature, so it kind of makes the game kind of frantic and really fun to play because you really want to make sure that you're trying to keep your opponent away from their tag zone while also keep staying next to yours, and a bunch of different other strategies come into play for this, right? Now, a big thing about the game is you also want to mitigate your risk reward, right? Because tagging is essentially the way you stay alive in this game, right? So you do have to be careful with tagging in and out. The rules of the game in terms of KOs is the biggest source of tension, right? The win condition in this game, right, is if one character is knocked out, the entire team loses the match. So you definitely want to manage your team's health while tagging in and out in your games. Then also there's weapon states, right? Now most characters start the game armed with their weapon, granting them access to powerful weapon attacks and special moves. If a character is struck while performing certain weapon-based attacks, they can actually be disarmed. Kind of similar to Samurai Showdown. And at that point, their moveset instantly changes, and they usually replace the weapon attack button with a new unarmed attack. Now luckily, when you tag your character out, it automatically re-equips that character that lost their weapon when they return to the fight. So it's not all doom and gloom when you lose your weapon. The roster does boast 12 playable characters, which also include the playable bosses Jazu and King Leo, and each character essentially has a lot to explore despite how big the roster may be. I myself personally spent a lot of time on Kim and Rosa just because I think they just look really cool. And I mean, as a kid, this is just a caveat here. As a kid, I always thought that Kim in this game was related to Kim in King of Fighters. Maybe that is a thing. The world may never know. So next I want to get into the offline enhancements, the quality of life features, right? When playing solo and playing locally, it does feature up to 4 players versus mode, bringing back that good old couch co-op, but it's versus mode between you and your friends. So that's a really neat feature to have in this latest port. SNK has delivered quite a few nice features that demonstrate a deep respect for the competitive community. Big training mode overhaul. The new training mode is really good. It includes things like speed control, input display, full hitbox view, which is really good for a lot of these older titles. The game also does feature a jukebox mode and a gallery mode as well, alongside achievements for those of you that like to go achievement hunting while playing your games. Now, next I want to get into the online features of this game. And you guys already know what it is. It is the Rollback Netcode by Code Mystics. Now, the entire reason this game is even going to be relevant at all today is the quality of its netcode. And as you guys know, fighting games live and die by their online performance. And Kizuna Encounter, it delivers. Code Mystics once again has done their thing with SNK and has delivered just the best of the best. I believe wholeheartedly that Code Mystics, they're just top notch, top of the line when it comes back to rollback implementation of these classic titles. They have not missed yet. And one of the greatest features of the online is having the ability to set up your variable, input delay, which greatly helps when you have, variable connections and things of that nature. It just helps to stabilize the game. So it's always good to see that. So Kizuna Encounter also features enhanced lobbies. The lobbies can support up to 9 players. Also has complete with a spectator mode and a tournament mode, making it easy to set up tournaments and whatnot, which is nice, of course. The online also features a 4-player online mode as well. Not only can you do it offline, you can also do it online. So it's really nice to have 4-player simultaneous matches. So this is really cool for when you just have, just the homies just want to jump online, have a good one, play together and just mess around. Perfect for big play sessions. Additionally, this game does feature replay takeover, and it does have replays for up to your last 9 games. Another great feature, so if you want to go back in there, for those that want to deep dive and see what they did wrong, you can go check that out as well. The final verdict, you guys. In conclusion, the Neo Geo Premium Selection Edition of Kizuna Encounter, it's just a triumphant return. It is a welcome back for this obscure title that has just been lost in time. The price of admission for this title is justified by the quality of the rollback netcode and its expansive training mode. It provides some of the most feature-rich and playable version of a legendary, complex, and previously inaccessible fighting game. For Kizuna Encounter, for a game of its time, not having a story mode or anything like that, that is kind of a bummer, but I think the features of the game more than make up for what it's lacking. So I believe if you're a fan of 2D fighters, SNK history, or unique tag mechanics, this might just be for you. So before I get up out of here, I want to give a big special thank you to SNK for allowing me early access to Kizuna Encounter to bring this review to you guys fresh to your doorstep. This is Kensou signing off. Another review. You guys take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.